Literary terms. Understanding the language of literature.
Welcome everyone. My name is Tavishi Kumar. I am an MA English student at KMV College, Jalandhar. Through this presentation, I aim to explore with you certain very interesting literary terms in English. Understanding these terms enhances our engagement with and our critical appreciation of the literary text at hand. Interestingly, it also connects us with literary tradition, compelling us to think as to how English literature has responded to and has been shaped by the changing times. So, without further ado, let's dive right in.
What are literary terms? Literary terms are specific words or phrases that help us discuss and analyze the elements of literature, such as style, structure, and meaning. They act as tools for understanding how writers convey their ideas and emotions. For example, a metaphor. All the world's a stage. Here, William Shakespeare, in his play As You Like It, compares life to a theatrical performance. Hyperbole. Drink to me only with thine eyes. Here, Ben Jonson intensifies, with the use of a hyperbole, the power of love and connection beyond physical indulgence. In this presentation, we will be discussing 4 important literary terms: epic, conceit, archaism, and unified sensibility. Understanding epic. An epic is a lengthy narrative poem that celebrates heroic deeds and significant events. It usually centers on a heroic figure with extraordinary abilities and addresses themes of universal relevance, reflecting the values and beliefs of a culture. Epic poetry is characterized by its vast scope and elevated style, focusing on a central hero. It often includes supernatural elements, moral lessons, and an invocation to a muse. The language is grand and the narrative spans extensive settings and time periods, presenting formidable challenges for the hero. Quoting here is an excerpt from John Milton's Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost addresses moral struggles and divine justice, illustrating humanity's fall and redemption, making it a famous epic. Understanding conceit. A conceit is an elaborate, rather fanciful metaphor that draws a surprising or far-fetched comparison between two dissimilar things. These are particularly common in Petrarchan sonnets and metaphysical poetry. Petrarchan conceit uses grand comparisons to idealize a lover's qualities, whereas a metaphysical conceit makes complex, often intellectual comparisons, juxtaposing highly dissimilar objects, rendering the poem a rather logical than an intuitive tonality. Quoting here is an excerpt from Sir Thomas Wyatt's poem, I Find No Peace. Wyatt, employing a Petrarchan conceit, compares opposing emotions in love to fire and ice, creating a vivid contrast to portray the conflict in a lover's heart. Quoting here is an excerpt from John Donne's poem, A Valediction Forbidding Mourning. Donne, employing a metaphysical conceit, compares two lovers to the two ends of a compass, united despite physical separation. Understanding archaism. Archaism refers to the use of words or phrases that are considered old-fashioned or outdated. Archaic language may still be recognized in specialized contexts, but is largely rare in contemporary usage. Archaism is characterized by its outdated vocabulary, which often includes terms like thou and thine. It lends a rhythmic and historical quality to texts, evoking a sense of antiquity. Quoting here is an excerpt from William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Shakespeare exemplifies archaism with phrases such as coddle and doth, which means deceit and does, respectively. Understanding unified sensibility. T.S. Eliot introduced the concept of unified sensibility to describe a quality he admired in the metaphysical poets, especially John Donne. Poets with a unified sensibility could integrate thought and feeling into a single cohesive expression. Eliot saw unified sensibility as contrasting with later poets of the Romantic and Victorian periods who he believed suffered from dissociated sensibility, a separation between thought and feeling, where intellect and emotion became increasingly isolated. Quoting an excerpt from John Donne's The Good Morrow. Here, Donne intertwines sensory experience with profound thought, reflecting the idea of unified sensibility. Quoting an excerpt from John Keats' Ode to a Nightingale. Keats first expresses emotion and later reflects on its meaning, illustrating a more sequential, dissociated sensibility. Summing up, exploring these literary terms deepens our understanding of how writers craft complex ideas and emotions. From epic to unified sensibility, each term enhances our appreciation of literature as a timeless dialogue, connecting us to tradition and enriching our reading experience.